back to the channel. Thanks for all of the love and support on the first video. It's been a really crazy week. It's Sunday, Friday and Saturday I helped my parents with their garage sale, so I've got some random things to kind of put away and deal with after that. I'm not gonna fully clean the house this week because I did a pretty good job last week. I'm gonna vacuum and wash our bedding and just some maintenance things like that. But my main focus today is gonna be reorganizing our kitchen. When we first moved in here, we were in the middle of renovations and it was kind of a hurry up and make the best of it situation. There was some sort of reason to some things, but a lot of it was just kind of at random, like just find a place for it. So there's a little bit of dysfunction that I think could be better because, as you can probably see, it fits in this frame. It's not very big. It does what it's supposed to do. I have no complaints, but we do have to be intentional about our storage, what we have, and how we're utilizing that. So let's just get into it. This is kind of our pantry. This is the largest, tallest cabinet that we have. It is right up against a wall. It's kind of hard, especially down here toward the bottom, with how deep it is and how kind of inaccessible it is to even know like what we have. It is way too cluttered. And then like we have short things back there. I don't even know what we have back there. Here to the left of the stove, I've got like potatoes, onions, garlic, measuring cups, cheese grater. I've got baking stuff, which is fairly accessible here, and I don't bake all that often, so I think I'm gonna move that stuff around. Here I've got all our spices in this drawer. This is super dysfunctional. I do not want to keep them in a drawer any longer. Also, I apologize for the noise the dishwasher is making. I probably should have waited a little longer to run it. We have a lot more spices than this. They're actually in here. We do a lot of like grilling, smoking. My husband loves his pellet grill, so he's got a lot. He's accumulated like rubs and such that I would like for him to be able to see better and know what he has. Here, down here at the bottom, to the left of the stove, we've got pots, pans, colanders, skillets. They could be organized a lot better. We could be utilizing that space better. I would like to not have anything below the stove. I hate this drawer. Every time you need something on the bottom, you have to take everything out and then put it all back. It's just kind of a mess. I also kind of just lose sight of what I have in here. So I'm gonna try to store these pans vertically in a cabinet instead of stacked on each other. Here above the stove, I have like some taller things, vases, a cookie jar, a pitcher, some water bottles. To the right of the stove, we have cups, mugs, koozies, things like that. Up there is usually where our lunch boxes are. Pretty happy with this cabinet. It works very well for us. Just all glass, mostly glass storage containers. We put leftovers or prep meals or lunches or whatever in, and then of course like a few like sandwich containers and a little salad kit. Here to the right of the stove, well, of course we have a utensil crock that holds most of our utensils, and then I just have some random things here. This could be a lot better. It gets jumbled, they slide around, so I need to figure that out a little bit better. I have kitchen linens in here right now. I had them in the linen closet down the hallway, but I didn't love that because every time I needed something for the kitchen, I had to go all the way to another room. It didn't make sense to me, but this isn't all that organized either. I'm going to have to figure that out. Here we've got funnels, mixing bowls, some random grilling like accessories. This is like our medicine cabinet. I'm not going to show you guys that. This is all of like our food wraps, butcher paper, parchment paper, crock pot, vacuum sealer bags, salad spinner, casserole dishes, taco stands. Super random again. I'll have to figure something better out for that. Over here to the other side of the kitchen, here's our fridge. And then, please don't mind those cases of beers. They're left over from our wedding and we are not really drinkers, so I've got extra kitchen trash bags here because we're about to be out below the sink. Ziplocs that I need to organize and store. Up there is like paper plates and paper goods. Here below the kitchen sink, pretty standard. I have like plastic bag, recycle, trash bags, dishwash detergent, just soap, vinegar, rinse aid, cleaners, like extra sponges, baking soda. Here to the right, I have all of our glassware, which works out pretty well. I like keeping the stuff we use pretty often pretty close to the dishwasher because it just makes it super easy to pop in the cabinet when we're done with it. Here's my awful collection of jars that I am going to go through. Here's our silverware. This fills this drawer pretty nicely. I don't know if I'll put much here. We have a lot of like unutilized space up here. It's just a hodgepodge of things, the blender, a wok, and then some cutting boards. Yeah, obviously I have some work to do here. Oh, I wanted to mention that this buffet here has really helped me out as far as like extra kitchen storage or just like appliance storage. Here's our dehydrator. This is a meat grinder. It's also like batteries, and some of this stuff is also living room stuff like the games and the cards and such, but I have all my like smell good stuff for a diffuser or candles or whatever. I have some decorations, but I also have some serving boards, charcuterie type of stuff. I guess I have a little bit of unutilized space in here too, but that has helped with the kitchen overflow since we do have a lot of limited space in the kitchen. But yeah, I'm going to kind of turn some music on and focus and figure this out, and then I will see you guys in a little bit. And just like that, an entire week has gone by since I last picked up the camera. It was just a crazy day last Sunday when I tried to film the entire video, and I just like realized at one point in the day that I was like, okay, I have a certain amount of things I have to get done to get ready for the week, and the kitchen was a pretty big project to tackle in itself, so I kind of just got a little caught up in that, and then I just didn't pick up the camera the rest of the evening. So to be completely real with you guys, I'm gonna try to continue to do that. I think that like above all else, being genuine is like the most important part of this process, and I'm sorry about any noise you're hearing. My husband is spraying the windows right where I'm trying to film. So without further ado, we're gonna get right back into the kitchen. Let's go. All right, I'm going to quickly clean the toaster oven out and wipe the countertops off, and we will start pulling from the cabinets. Alright, in a much more concentrated effort to do this quickly and efficiently and effectively, I actually saw something on TikTok from a professional house cleaner, and she said that if you have like attention deficit, or if you just have a hard time cleaning quickly and efficiently because you get sidetracked by all the other little things you're seeing need done, she said to pick a room, first of all, and you clean that room to its entirety until you're done with that room, and then you move on. And then she said, pick a corner of the room and work your way around and work top to bottom. So I know that this is the most problematic area of the kitchen right now. It is sort of our little pantry cabinet. It's where most of like food and canned goods are right now. And I know that like that's my most problematic area. That's the one I want to change the most. So I'm picking this corner by the door. I'm just gonna empty the cabinets entirely. I'll see what I have, and then I will try to come up with a plan. So let's get into that. got both cabinets emptied, and I am now ready to tackle decluttering and reorganizing the items that I took out. And I would say that like the most helpful tip I have for this process is sort things into categories. So you'll have three main like overarching categories for things that are trash, they're of no use to anyone anymore, give away or donate. And then you've got things that you're keeping as your third category. And then the things that you're keeping, you would sort into further things that kind of just make sense logically. So I would sort all my canned goods together, all of my cooking oils, all my spices, all of my dinnerware, glassware. I'm going to sort through these things here, and I will come back when I have them in my categories. Okay, so I got everything from those couple cabinets organized. I am gonna go ahead and empty this cabinet and then this spice drawer, because I kind of want to rearrange what's in which. So I'm gonna do that and also lay them out and get them organized, and then wipe out all 3 or 4 cabinets, and then start putting things away. Alright, the cabinets are clean, and now that I've had a little bit of time, I think I know where I want to start. Our spices at first, like, they were all about this size, pretty small, standard, and they fit in that drawer pretty well. But now that I've had a little bit of time and experience, and I've learned that I like buying in the bigger sizes, and we also buy a lot of like rubs and stuff. They are just getting too big, and that drawer was super crowded and dysfunctional. And also when the spices are on their side, I feel like there's a lot more chances for them to leak out into the drawer, and then there's just like a mess of everything everywhere. So I think I want to put them in this lowest shelf right here, right next to the oven. I think that just makes the most sense for being able to see everything and use them and get them out easily. I got this expandable spice rack at TJ Maxx. I am going to set it up and get everything put on it. So I've got all of our spices and rubs fit on this spice rack. I ended up just expanding it to the width of the cabinet, and as you can see, I just barely made it work. I did have to raise the shelf quite a bit to fit these taller bottles, so now I'm kind of left with an awkward, really skinny shelf here unless I move this one up more. So I'm gonna have to regroup a little bit and figure that out. Okay, an idea just came to me. I'm kind of working very logically this time, just trying to make sure that everything makes the most sense functionally. Usually the very most top shelf and the very most bottom shelf are like, they're kind of the hardest to access. So like I think about the things at the very bottom and the very top the least, just because they're not really eye level, they're not really easy to get to. So I am going to, I believe, put like baking racks on the bottom shelf, and I bought a little stand for those at Target. So I get them out of the bottom of the oven. These shelves are super tall. I think I'm gonna try that. this organizer worked out pretty well. I am gonna leave the label on just in case I change my mind, because I got 2 different options. So I am gonna leave the label on until I'm all the way done. You know, I might switch things up, but that is pretty awesome. I think that everything's super easy to see, super easy to get to. They take up the depth of the cabinet pretty well, so I'm happy with that. Alright, so took a little intermission, had some dinner, spent some time with my husband. We were actually talking about my upcoming computer build and office setup, which I'm so excited to share with you guys later. But for now, I will show you what I accomplished so far. So, On this top cabinet, I have party supplies, I have paper plates, utensils, plastic cups, and then some mixed drink supplies. Just below that, I have our lunch boxes, which we grab almost every day, and then I have vacuum sealer bags, and soup molds for freezing individual portions of soup. Below that, I have like lunch supplies, so I have bread and chips, snacks, things that we grab all the time. Make those super easy to see and get to. And the same thing here with this cabinet. I just have extra condiments there in the furthest back, and then I have like things increasing like how often we use them from there. And then I showed you guys this cabinet. I'm very happy with how that turned out. I'm gonna leave it just as is. And then I showed you the spice rack shelf. And then from there, I have more dinner-esque type items. And then I have cans up there at the top. And then in the drawer that the spices were in, I have all these Ziploc, food, paper, and wraps. And then this will be my next, actually I'll probably tackle the rest of this side of the kitchen. So these lowers, excluding that drawer, and then those uppers, including the upper above the range. All right, it's about 10:30 on a Sunday night, but I am at a stopping point. There's still a few things that I'd like to do, but I don't have the material or the resources to do them at the moment, and I am not trying to go out and get them right now. I'm gonna save them for another day, but for the most part, I feel accomplished. I feel done. All of the hard work is done, so I'm just gonna show you guys what I ended up with. All right, so starting at the left and working my way clockwise around the kitchen. So this little cabinet at the top of the fridge is probably the most inaccessible, hardest to get to cabinet in the kitchen. So up here, I have put all of my extra jars. So I have quart-sized jars, pint-sized jars, and then I have just like jars that I've saved. At this next top cabinet, this is the cabinet closest to the sink. And the dishwasher is also to its right. So I have juice glasses, regular glasses. I have 2 tall blender bottles, and then we have 2 like mid-size Yetis. And then up here I have margarita glasses and a shaker. And then at the very top of this cabinet, I have many different sizes. I have little jam jars, quarts, pints. And then here we have our large bowls. I guess these are a salad or a pasta bowl. Small plates, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get noodle or soup bowls here, which are like really deep. And then I have coffee mugs, and then I have regular bowls and dinner plates. And then I keep my counters pretty minimal. This is really minimal right now, but yeah, I just have a kettle for boiling water really quickly for coffee or tea. Here, of course, is silverware. Again, super easy to put away. It is just a step to the left, so there's no excuse to ever have a full dishwasher. And then below that, I have some random things. This is a really deep cabinet. It does not have a shelf because our dishwasher lines are run back there. So I have vacuum sealer bags. I did move those. The blender, and then this will be onions, garlic, and potatoes. And then I didn't do anything to this cabinet because I had it pretty solid. I might try to work it a little bit better, but these pipes are run pretty poorly and they kind of keep me from having it more functional than this. Also, this cabinet was damaged by water before we got here. So it actually dips really badly in the middle. It just makes it hard to put any kind of like little shelving in there. I will share like a couple really helpful tips for a small kitchen that have helped us. Is this little bag keeper here for plastic bags. We try to use reusable bags at the store, but you do end up with them. But we do reuse them and like to line our trash cans. My mom always did that growing up, and I just think it's genius because like you already have the bag. Why would you pay for trash bags when you can just repurpose? And then I have cleaners, dishwasher detergent. I have one too many right now because this one's almost out. I have vinegar in here, white vinegar. I'm gonna fill this little jar like to cook with. This was an apple cider vinegar jar that I just cleaned out really well. But vinegar also works really well for cleaning a lot of stuff. So I do keep it there. I have hand soap. When my Windex and Lysol reusable sprayers stay here. And then top to bottom, I have party supplies, paper goods, plasticware, drink mixes. And then here, not much different from earlier. I have the vacuum sealer, the super cubes, and then this is the same that I showed you earlier. I was very happy with what I was able to come up with here. All of the cabinets surrounding the oven, I really tried to put things that made sense to be closest to the oven and easiest to access. So again, I've got the spices and then just some other random cooking supplies, foods here. And then just to the left of the oven and the drawer, I have Mostly, I tried to really keep it to cooking utensils. I kind of just lay them in there for now. I do need to go get like a better organizer with like separate bins so I can keep these a little more orderly. I also need to line the drawer with non-skid so these things don't slide around. But for now, that's what I came up with here. And then below that, I've got all of our pots and pans. This rack I got from Target was awesome in helping me keep our skillets more orderly, and they take up less space now, and they're way easier to get to. Before, we had them stacked within each other, and so it was like I'm bending down here and they're really heavy. And these are cast iron and these are stainless steel, so these are not lightweight in any way, shape, or form. Now they're just easier to access. They're a lot lighter. I'm not like lifting up a bunch of pots and pans to separate them and then put in the back. So I'll show you above the oven. I kept this pretty much the same, except I did declutter a couple water bottles there. So this cabinet has my big vases, a pitcher for tea or lemonade, whatever I'm making, and then a couple spare Yetis. Moving to the right of the oven, in the upper, we have measuring cups, salad dressing dispenser, and then I have all of our different cooking oils and vinegars here. To the right of that, I kept this pretty similar, except I did put the baking goods up at the top of this cabinet. Okay, to the right of the oven in the lower drawer, this is kind of our junk drawer catch-all. I try not to keep like literal junk in the kitchen just because it's so small. I don't really have, I just think it's really silly to even have anything that's really not supposed to be in the kitchen or not serving me in the kitchen in a drawer. So that's that. I also need to get an organizer for here, but that's for another day. And then below that, I have our strainers, and I'm just realizing that that's a pretty big open space, so I may shift some things around. This is not perfect, but it's really, really close, and that's all I'm really after. Same thing with this. This is just mixing bowls and bowls. And then I did move all of the food wrap, Ziplocs, silicone Ziplocs, all in this drawer. I am super happy that I did that because it all makes sense to be all together. Last but not least, this is our crock pot, our oven dishes, wok back there, a salad spinner, and a little hand mixer. A couple other little tips I have are, just like command hooks can make such a difference in a space, and they are so inexpensive. Before, these pot holders were like in a drawer. They didn't really have a good spot. Same with the oven mitt and the little dish rag. The dish rag, it's draped over the faucet. It gets in the way. It gets left places. It's soaking wet because it's getting wet every time you turn the faucet on. So just this little command hook here to the left of the sink on the actually it's on the fridge. It helps to, I think it helps to let it dry faster. It's out of the way of the sink. It looks better. It just those little tiny changes like really make a difference in a small space. I would say also that making your kitchen sink fun to look out is super important if you hate doing dishes. I have a great view out my kitchen sink, and it's honestly just a huge blessing to have a kitchen sink. I always had one growing up. I couldn't really imagine like looking at a wall doing the dishes. But my mom got me this little orange stained glass art, and I love that it's right here above my kitchen sink. And then I also have this little fern. So yeah, just a fun little tidbit. This paper towel holder also has been a lifesaver. It's not a regular one. It's a one-handed like tear. So when you tear it, it has a little bit of resistance. It doesn't just free spool like a lot of cheap paper towel holders do. And you can literally tear it with one hand, which is kind of important when I'm doing it and now I can't. But it's kind of important when you have wet hands or have something like gross on your hands, like you've been touching raw meat or something. This magnet strip for our knives has also been awesome. I think it helps to keep the knives sharp because they're not hitting the inside of a utensil drawer or something, dulling them, and then they're also just super accessible. They take up a lot of unusable, what would be unusable space, the side of a cabinet this way versus taking up usable space for other things in a drawer. So that's pretty cool. I think my last tip I have for you guys is keep a clean kitchen. Keep as clean of a space as possible, and you'll have a lot less critical eye of your kitchen that you're maybe not so in love with but are working with for now. And you'll also have a lot less food waste. I try every week to go through our fridge and take an inventory of everything, see if something maybe has a little spot on it, or try to think about how long ago I bought it or cooked it. And it sucks to throw food away, but it's important for your health, and it's important for just keeping a clutter-free space. Again, when I do that, if the shelf is empty enough and it's looking a little dirty, I clear it off and I just wipe it out really quick. I think it's easy to let your fridge get dirty and overwhelm you. So if you keep on top of it, once a week, every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever works for you, it's much better than realizing it's been 6 months, a year, and your fridge has literal dirt at the bottom of it, because it just happens. Things come in dirty from the store, or the counters are dirty and you set something down, you set it back in the fridge, and now it's in the fridge. So yeah, keeping a clean space is super important for me. It makes me want to be in the kitchen more often when the kitchen's clean, and I just hope that this helps someone who's maybe not in their dream kitchen and maybe doesn't have the funds to completely rip it out and remodel it, to learn to love their kitchen just a little bit more. I feel like it's the little things in life that truly make it enjoyable, and if you can have a little bit more function, a little bit more storage, and some cleanliness in your kitchen, you might want to be on it more, and it helps to appreciate it. I truly think that taking care of what you have helps you appreciate it so much more. And I think that your things are only as nice as you take care of them. So without rambling too much more, I am going to thank you guys so much for watching if you've made it to this point, and thank you so much for all the support on the first video. I am so grateful to be able to share with you guys, and I'm excited for what's to come. So I'm gonna leave you guys by saying that you can have the exact life you want right where you are. It's all in your mindset. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.